Picture this. It's 2 a.m. There's a sound outside. Something's wrong. Maybe it's a wildfire moving faster than the forecast predicted. Maybe it's a flood warning that just escalated. Maybe it's something you never expected in your neighborhood. Your phone buzzes, an emergency alert, and it says you need to leave. Now. You have 5 minutes. What do you grab? Most people freeze in that moment, not because they don't care about their safety, but because they never decided ahead of time. And when your brain is flooded with adrenaline and your hands are shaking, making decisions from scratch is nearly impossible. You start opening drawers, you look around the room, you second guess yourself, and before you know it, 5 minutes are gone. That right there, that paralysis is the real threat, not the disaster itself, the unpreparedness that meets it. Today, we're fixing that. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to grab, in what order, and how to set up a system so simple that even in the worst moment of your life, your body just moves. No thinking required. Welcome to Crisis Horizon. If this kind of practical, no-nonsense preparedness is what you're about, hit that like button and subscribe. We put out content that could genuinely make a difference when it counts. Let's get into it. Before we talk about what to grab, we need to have an honest conversation about what most people get wrong, and it starts with the word bug out. If you've spent any time in the preparedness world, you've seen the videos, the tactical backpacks loaded with survival gear, the fire starters, the paracord, the night vision binoculars. It looks impressive, it feels prepared. And for a very specific scenario, a long-term wilderness survival situation, some of that stuff matters. But that is not what a 5-minute evacuation looks like. When disaster strikes in the real world, you are almost never heading into the wild to survive off the land. You're driving to a shelter, you're staying with family 2 towns over, you're checking into a hotel. You're trying to function as a normal human being in an abnormal situation, and to do that, you need a completely different kind of kit. The difference between a bug-out bag and a real evacuation kit comes down to one question. What do you actually need to keep your life running for the next 48 to 72 hours? Not to survive in the wilderness, to maintain your identity, your health, your finances, and your ability to communicate while everything around you is chaotic. Here's the other thing nobody talks about. 5 minutes is brutally short. Go ahead and set a timer right now if you want to test yourself. 5 minutes from a dead stop to out the door with everything you need. That is not enough time to make decisions. It is only enough time to execute decisions you already made, which is exactly why everything we talk about today needs to be pre-selected, pre-packed, and pre-positioned before anything ever goes wrong. The system we're going to walk through has 3 tiers. Tier 1 is what you grab in the first 60 seconds. No bag, no thinking, just grab and go. Tier 2 is your pre-packed go bag, which should be ready to pick up in one motion. Tier 3 is everything nice to have if you happen to have a little extra time. By the end of this video, all 3 tiers are going to make complete sense. Keep watching. Let's start with the single most underestimated category in emergency preparedness, your documents. When people think about surviving a disaster, they think about food and water, and those matter. We'll get there. But here's the reality check. Food and water are easy to get once you're safe. What's not easy to get, what can take weeks or months to replace, are the documents that prove who you are and protect your financial life. Think about what happens after a major disaster. Insurance claims need to be filed, FEMA assistance requires identification, medical facilities need your records to treat you properly. If you've lost your home and you show up somewhere without a single document, you are starting from zero in a system that is already overwhelmed. So the first thing that needs to go into your evacuation kit is a waterproof folder, and inside that folder you need copies of the essentials: your government-issued ID or passport, your insurance policies, home, health, vehicle, any important medical records, especially if you or someone in your family has ongoing conditions, birth certificates, social security cards, and if you have them, property documents. The waterproof part isn't optional. Floods, rain, a bag that gets dropped in a puddle, moisture destroys paper fast. A basic waterproof document sleeve costs next to nothing, and it could save you months of bureaucratic headache. Right alongside those documents, in the same easy-to-grab location, you need cash. And not $100 folded into your wallet. Actual emergency cash. The recommendation is a minimum of $200, and it should be in small bills, 5s, 10s, 20s. Here's why that matters. When a disaster hits a region, ATMs run out of cash fast. Card readers go offline when power is out. Digital payments require infrastructure, and infrastructure fails. Cash doesn't. Cash works when nothing else does. Small bills work when nobody can make change. It sounds almost too simple to mention, but the number of people who evacuate and can't buy gas or food because they're cashless is staggering. Keep the cash with the documents. Same folder, same bag, same location. No exceptions. Next up is something that sounds obvious but gets skipped in the panic of packing: your medications. If you or anyone in your family takes prescription medication for blood pressure, diabetes, mental health, thyroid, anything, that medication is non-negotiable. And you need more than 1 day's worth because you have no idea how long you'll be displaced. The target is a minimum of a week's supply. Ideally, you're talking to your doctor about getting a small emergency supply prescribed specifically for this purpose. Some insurers will cover an early refill if you explain the situation. It's worth the conversation. Because ending up in a shelter 3 days after a disaster, running out of blood pressure medication, with no pharmacy in reach, that is a medical emergency layered on top of an already bad situation. Pack your medications in a clearly labeled, waterproof container. If the medications require refrigeration, that's a separate planning challenge, but at minimum, know what you do and have a plan for it. Alongside the medications, a compact first aid kit is essential, not a massive trauma kit, just the basics: bandages in multiple sizes, antiseptic wipes, medical tape, pain relievers, antihistamines. If you have children, include any relevant supplies for them. The point is to handle minor injuries and common ailments without needing emergency medical care, which is going to be stretched thin in any major disaster. Now let's talk about food and water, the survival basics that most people get wrong even when they remember to pack them. The mistake most people make is thinking in terms of their normal eating habits. They try to pack real food, things that need to be cooked, refrigerated, or prepared. In an evacuation scenario, that's impractical. You need calories, you need energy, and you need it in a form that requires zero preparation. Energy bars are the gold standard here. High calorie count, small footprint, no cooking required, long life shelf. Peanut butter packets, trail mix, dried fruit, jerky, all good options. The goal is to pack enough to cover 48 to 72 hours per person without needing to stop for food. Because in the immediate aftermath of a disaster, stopping may not be easy or safe. Water is where people almost always underprepare. The standard recommendation is 1 liter per person per day for drinking alone. More if it's hot, more if you're exerting yourself, more if you have children. For a 72-hour kit, you're looking at 3 liters per person minimum. That adds up fast. A family of 4 needs 12 liters to get through 3 days. This is exactly why a portable water purification method is just as important as the water itself. A quality water filter straw, purification tablets, or a compact pump filter lets you turn questionable water into safe drinking water. When your stored supply runs out, and it will, purification is what keeps you from making a desperate and dangerous decision about the water you drink. Pack the food and water in a way that's accessible. Don't bury it at the bottom of a bag under everything else. In a real emergency, you may need to eat or drink while moving. Clothing and hygiene might feel like a lower priority compared to documents, medications, and water, but underestimate them at your cost. The right clothing in the wrong weather can become a serious physical problem within hours. If you're evacuating in a cold climate and you grab summer clothes, you're vulnerable. If you're evacuating in heat with no moisture-wicking layers, you're going to be miserable and potentially compromised. The goal is 1 weather-appropriate change of clothes, not a full wardrobe, just enough to stay functional and clean while you figure out your next move. Sturdy, closed-toe shoes are non-negotiable. This sounds basic, but in a real evacuation, people leave in sandals, slippers, or bare feet, whatever they happen to be wearing. If you're walking through debris, navigating a flooded street, or just on your feet for hours, you need real footwear. Keep a pair of sturdy shoes near your go bag. Make it automatic.
On hygiene, this matters more than people realize, and not just for comfort. Maintaining basic hygiene, teeth, hands, body, during a stressful displacement helps preserve mental stability. When everything around you feels out of control, something as small as brushing your teeth can restore a sense of normalcy. Pack a toothbrush, toothpaste, a small bar of soap, wet wipes, hand sanitizer, and any feminine hygiene products if applicable. Wet wipes, in particular, are underrated. They work when there's no water, no shower, no facilities. They take up almost no space and weigh almost nothing. Your phone is probably already in your pocket, and that's your single most powerful evacuation tool. Navigation, emergency alerts, contacting family, accessing information, it does everything. But it does nothing when the battery is dead. The number one communication mistake people make in an evacuation is assuming they'll be able to charge their phone when they need to. Power outages can last days. Car chargers work until your car is stuck in gridlocked evacuation traffic with the engine off. Hotel rooms fill up. You cannot count on an outlet being available when you need one. The fix is simple and inexpensive: a dedicated, pre-charged portable battery bank. Not the one you also use daily and that might be at 30%, a separate one specifically for emergency use, kept charged and in your go bag. A high-capacity bank can charge a smartphone multiple times. That could be the difference between reaching your family and going dark. Beyond your phone, keep a written list of emergency contacts somewhere in your bag, not saved in your phone, written on paper. If your phone is lost, stolen, damaged, or dead, that piece of paper is your lifeline. Include family members, a close friend outside your immediate area, your doctor, your insurance provider. People forget phone numbers and panic even for people they've called 1,000 times. And don't overlook the emotional side of communication.
A small comfort item, a favorite toy, a familiar book, a stuffed animal, takes up almost no space, but can have an outsized impact on a child's ability to stay calm during a terrifying situation. A calm child means you can focus. Don't skip this. Now let's put it all together into the framework that makes all of this actually work under pressure. Tier 1 is your immediate grab. 60 seconds, no back, just 3 things: your keys, your wallet, and your phone. These items should live in the same place every single day, by the door, on a hook, on a designated shelf. If you can build that habit now, you will never have to think about them in an emergency. You just grab and you move. Tier 2 is your go back. Everything we've discussed: documents, cash, medications, food, water, clothing, hygiene, charger, battery bank, written contacts, all of it pre-packed in a bag that's easy to carry, stored near your exit. Not in a storage unit, not in the back of a closet, near the door. The moment you've grabbed your Tier 1 items, your Tier 2 bag comes with you in one motion. Tier 3 is the bonus round. If you have time beyond what it takes to execute Tiers 1 and 2, additional clothing, more water, valuables, sentimental items, extra food, grab them, but only after everything else is secured. Tier 3 never delays Tier 1 and 2. Here is the one thing most people skip that makes the whole system actually reliable: practice. Run a drill. Set a timer for 5 minutes and actually walk through it. Grab your keys, grab your bag, get out. Do it once and you'll immediately see what's wrong. Maybe the bag is in the wrong spot. Maybe something's missing. Maybe it's too heavy to move fast. Fix it before the emergency, not during it. Store your go bag somewhere you'll see it, somewhere that becomes as natural as grabbing your keys before work, because the goal of all of this is to reduce the number of decisions your panicked, sleep-deprived, adrenaline-flooded brain has to make in the worst 5 minutes of your life. Every decision you make now is one less decision you have to make then. Here's what we want you to take away from all of this. Preparedness isn't about fear. It's not about expecting the worst or living in anxiety about what might happen. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you've already handled it. People who've done this, who have their documents ready, their bag packed, their system in place, they don't panic when an alert goes off. They move calmly, quickly, and effectively. That is what Crisis Horizon is about. Not doom, not paranoia, action.
Practical, achievable, real-world action that gives you and your family a genuine edge when the unexpected happens. Start with Tier 1 today. Just that. Keys, wallet, phone. One designated spot. Consistent, every day. Then build from there. Add the go bag. Add the documents. Do it in steps if you need to. Progress matters more than perfection. And if this video gave you something useful, if it made you think about something you hadn't thought about before, do us a favor and hit the like button. Subscribe to Crisis Horizon so you don't miss what's coming next. Share this with someone who needs it, because the best time to prepare was yesterday. The second best time is right now.